Always bet on black.
I feel the need for speed.
Playtime's over.
Dolomite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
Are you a Mexican or a Mexicant?
Shit just got real.
Dodge this.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
I know Kung Fu.
Oh my god, the quarterback is toast.
Your move, creep.
I'm a land farmer, motherfucker.
All right, what's up, nerds? Welcome to the latest episode of Nerds with Attitude. I am Kevin, and I'm joined as usual by...
It's Miggs.
I'm Mike.
And we have a very special guest today. It's...
Gary.
And Gary's visiting us from out of town. He's an avid podcast listener, and now he's an avid podcaster.
Can I do my name cool like his? It's Mike.
Yeah, but you have to have that cool voice.
Say my name for me, Gary.
It's Mike.
So let's get in some nerd news here. Let's first up is Jessica Jones got announced to have a season 2 on Netflix. I don't think that was a big surprise to anybody. You guys all watched season 1?
Oh yeah.
What is Jessica Jones? Don't make fun of me.
Don't worry, I haven't watched it. I haven't had time.
Like, is this like Sex in the City, but for like a younger woman instead of like a 50-year-old who's trying to be 20?
No, Jessica Jones exists in the Spider-Man universe. She was in an accident. She got super strength, and she's sort of like a private detective, but with superpowers.
Oh.
So she uses her super strength and stuff like that to her advantage to, be a private. The show itself is more of a private detective show than it is a superhero show.
But
there are elements of superhero fighting. Luke Cage, have you heard of him? He's a
Mortal Kombat.
No, he's
that's Liu Kang. I'm sorry, different guy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Isn't there a Cage character?
Johnny Cage.
There's Johnny Cage's black half brother.
Okay,
he's invulnerable. You can't break his skin, kind of thing. I guess that's invulnerable. Anyways,
this is cool.
so he's in it, and then there's the bad guy in it is somebody who can control you with his thoughts, that kind of stuff.
Oh, like Donald Trump.
Yeah, Kilgrave.
Oh, good Lord. So, anyway, Jessica Jones was on Netflix. It was like Daredevil, so they released the whole 13 episodes at the same time. I really liked it. I didn't know what to expect from it. I didn't know the character, but I really enjoyed it.
So you watched the whole thing?
Watched the whole thing, and
is there going to be season 2?
And that's what they announced.
That's what we're talking about.
Thank you for being here with us.
If you remember, about a minute ago, I started us off by saying that they announced season 2.
You had me at impenetrable.
So. You guys will watch that.
I'm gonna check it out now. If you say it's good, I'm gonna check it out. I value your opinion, so I'm gonna check it out.
Well, it's great.
Well, did you watch Daredevil?
Part of it, I didn't really get into it.
Oh,
yeah. See,
really?
Or Arrow? No, I just never watched.
Daredevil's not on par with Arrow at all. It is
really?
So much better.
Oh, really?
Oh, so much better. Would you get like 2 or 3 episodes in?
Yeah.
No, give it a chance.
Okay.
Give it the full series, because he about halfway through he really starts developing, understanding what his powers are and how to use them. He starts, by the end of the season, you get like the Daredevil
it gets better. It's not like how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was, or I couldn't even get past.
No,
and you told me I had to keep watching it till it built up, and then
The one thing with Netflix is the fact that they can go grittier. So that's the feel you get with the Netflix Marvel series.
It's not right for
it's
family
not
time TV.
It's not waiting for let's go this far and then we got to stop it there because network. It's Netflix where they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want.
It's a 13-hour superhero movie. Like it's really well. The characters are fleshed out really well. The bad guy in it, I just blinked on his name.
Kilgrave.
No, Daredevil.
Kingpin.
Yeah, the actor, Vincent Onofrio.
Yeah, he was.
Thank you, no one.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yes, Vincent Onofrio is probably one of the best villain characters I've seen in a superhero thing. He is so deep in his emotions, and you almost feel for him and root for him.
Well, he was
knowing that he's the villain.
He was dark in Full Metal Jacket, so I mean, you always seem to
well, no, but he's got the range. I mean, he's got the acting chops, but the way the characters are written, they're not just two-dimensional, stupid characters. They're not throwaway characters.
They're relatable.
There's depth in each character.
Same thing with Jessica Jones. David Tennant, who from Doctor Who was Kilgrave. He's the guy with the psychic powers. You almost feel bad for him through it, because they give you so much of his background and where he's coming from and sort of his point of view on stuff. And you're like, I don't really think.
So you have empathy towards him, even though he's being bad. You're just like,
they're-
well, hey.
I'm supposed to think of her as the good guy and him as the bad guy, but really, you just kind of look at him and go like, I kind of like him. I don't want him to lose. Like I want him to. But and same thing I think with Kingpin and in the Daredevil. You're like, he's a really interesting villain. So I recommend it. Watch it.
Did they have him gain the weight for Kingpin? Because Kingpin's pretty big.
He is big.
Yeah.
He's definitely very big. Not big like the comic book.
Right.
Huge.
Right.
He's not the Blob.
But they kind of build it. No, because he
But,
was
but
big.
he's a big powerhouse of looking, intimidating
stocked
villain.
up.
Yeah.
Please tell me he wears the suit from the.
He does wear a suit. That's part of the Kingpin is his suit. So
does he have a cat? I think no. That's Inspector Gadget? I swear Kingpin had a cat. I swear Kingpin had a cat. He has like a cane and a cat.
Are you sure you're not talking like Black Cat? Cause
No. He had like a
usually
cat.
intertwined.
He had a cat in the Spider-Man cartoon. He was like, fuck Spider-Man, and then I don't know. That's not his voice, but you know what I'm talking about? I don't know.
I don't know who this man is.
It was Saturday.
I've
What
never seen you in
acid
my
trip
life.
did you take?
It was Saturday morning cartoons that they had that they had the Kingpin against Spider-Man. I forgot it was the Spider-Man cartoon. Do you remember
Spider-Man?
that?
Yeah, the
From the
70s
90s?
campy.
Yeah, from the 90s.
Okay.
And Kingpin had a cat. I
Well, in the
swear he had a
cartoon,
cat.
that he probably had a cat.
Okay, then they should have gave him one in the show.
all right. So season 2,
Moving on.
no date announced. Obviously, according to what we read online, it's going to premiere after the upcoming Defenders series. And the scheduling, the crossovers between Luke Cage's movie, Iron Fist, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Daredevil season 2, since we were talking about that's going to debut on March 16th.
Have you
So
seen
that's right around the corner?
the little spot
I didn't
promos
actually
and-
show you anything teaser
Yeah.
trailer. I hate trailers like that because all it is footage and sound from season 1.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're in a church.
Yeah.
Which is just a graphic that they put together for. It's really nothing other than sort of recapping and getting you excited for season 2. It's not a trailer or any new information at all. So, but I'm looking forward to it. Moving on. I think also in March. Actually, March 18th. Also on Netflix. Netflix is going to kill it this year.
Apparently.
Because the first 3 things we have to talk about are all Netflix related. Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
I'm so excited for this.
I saw the trailer for it. There's like a teaser trailer, like a minute long.
Yeah, we'll put that up on the webpage. Actually, make sure you follow us, Nerds with Attitude on Facebook and Nerds with Attitude on Instagram. I'm getting much better at plugging those each episode. We'll put up the teaser trailer for that. It's about 40 seconds long, and it's just him in his house with all the gadgety goodness, and it's him like getting up and going out for the day, and there's a little joke at the end of it that's pretty funny. I won't spoil that. But we're all looking forward to that. That was filmed last year, and that was in the works for a long time.
I do have to say, he does look good still. I mean,
That is a lot of special effects and makeup.
Question:
What?
Is it weird that grown men are excited about Pee-wee coming back?
I don't know.
Here's the thing: Pee-wee was not originally a kid's thing. It was a stage show done
Are
for
you
adults.
serious?
Yeah, it was put on in theaters with adult humor and adult jokes, and
Like-
the joke was sort of that it's this man-child
Right,
arrested development kind of thing.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw it or heard about it, I caught him on HBO on his specials.
Yeah, and
You know?
if you watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure, I mean, I think that came out after the TV show or
Yeah.
around the same time, so it's a little more kid-friendly, but
Right.
it's still
You get those.
There's
undertones
adult
in
humor
there.
in it.
Big Adventure was the best. Like in my top 10 right now.
It's
I
a really
swear.
good movie.
That's why I was excited when I saw the trailer to that. And
Yeah.
he's on the house and he's on the skis. I'm like, oh,
Well, you could never forget that scene on the bar. The white boots.
yeah. The
For a
tequila.
year, I did that. And just annoyed the shit out of
dance.
people.
The dance.
tequila.
That was last week, but
Watch for that. We're gonna have a really busy March, which is very exciting. And that was all the original people came back for that. Pee-wee wrote it, and a lot of the original people involved with that. So, and Netflix is a very hands-off production company where they're just like, "We trust you. Here's your money. Go do it."
So that you do your content, your creative content.
Don't talk. Okay, and next up, I think also from Netflix is they are announced they're going to be developing a live-action Legend of Zelda TV show.
I am on the fence on this one.
Okay, why?
Okay. Number one, it's a kick-ass idea that they're going to do if they pull this off, but it also depends on which way they're going to go with this. Because from the beginning with the video games, all through the years of Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, you're trying to catch a fan base here that have loved all these stories that they've put out. So it depends on which way they're going to go with it. But at the same time, what's the style going to be?
Well, they're describing it as Game of Thrones for a family audience.
Okay, see, and
So
that's
does that
what-
mean it's going to be kind of dark, gritty,
that's
serious
kind of where
kind
I'm
of thing?
worried about, because if you really think about it, perfect example on what this show should be is Willow, back from the late 80s.
Yeah.
That's the style it should be kind of shot in. You know, nothing too fancy, nothing too. I mean, Link was a peasant. He wasn't like a warrior. Or, you know, he stumbled.
And that's a really common theme in movies. You know, look at like Luke and Star Wars
Yeah.
and stuff like that, where you get sort of that downtrodden. You don't expect him to be the hero, and he gets sent on the hero's journey.
Exactly.
Same thing with Link. Well, they don't have a writer for it yet, so I mean, this is still really early in the developmental process.
Okay.
But who knows? I'm not sure.
And as long as they have him fucking around with chickens left and right,
I was
that's
just gonna
all.
say there better be some chicken kicking.
Oh, I thought you meant something else, like from House of it. Was
No,
it?
not no. If it were on HBO, he would probably literally be fucking some chickens.
I see.
But this is for Netflix for a family audience, so he'll just be kicking them like in the video games. But
okay.
they're immortal, like just like they are in the video games.
Yeah,
so.
they never die. You just kick.
That's hilarious.
Let's move over. Let's talk about toys for a little bit. Not a whole lot new since our last podcast. We got some new Arkham figures for the Arkham game. Gary, you play the Arkham Asylum, right?
Yeah, all of them.
Do you have a favorite character or anything from that game?
You know, style-wise, it's always going to be Batman. Just how they've done the costume and changed it up with every game. There's always like a new phase, kind of like, you know, the Iron Man with the movies. And it's just, I didn't think, like with the last game, I didn't think I was going to enjoy the final phase of the Batman suit.
Okay.
But man, after I got into it, I fell in love with that thing. That's one of my, once I get my sculpting skills under control,
Yeah.
that's going to be on the list of what I need to make.
Nice, a Batman suit.
Oh, that
Well,
one.
we'll talk to you about that when we interview you about all your nerd. What's the word? I just
my nerdgasms.
no, your
Nerdgasm.
nerd credentials.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So this is going to be from DC Collectibles. They're going to be 7-inch figures. There's a 3-pack that's coming out that's $75. But it's going to be Batman and a couple of looks like bad dudes with them. We'll put the link
The
over there.
Joker.
Looks like killing
You get the
like
Joker in the Hawaiian shirt
like a
and
trucker.
shorts. Yeah, in the trucker hat with the camera. That's kind of Killing Joke
Yeah.
style, right?
Yeah.
That's where he shot Barbara.
Right. And then you've got your weird Poison Ivy.
I think that's the lesbian Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy. I don't like
You
that.
know, they are a thing, kind of.
She looks like a
Yeah,
meth
Ivy
addict.
and Harley.
Not kidding.
Who Poison
Yeah.
Ivy and who?
Harley
Harley
and Poison Ivy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've kind of gone to where it's almost like they're a couple, and then sometimes Joker comes.
I got you.
I got a
Yeah.
question
So it's
about the
like a
toy.
Three's Company kind of
I
thing.
got a question
Yeah.
about
What?
the toy.
Yes.
Like that bush. Is that like is she wearing a bush? Is she wearing a bush?
That's just a comb over.
Is it a comb over, or is that like she's wearing an actual bush?
You know how some people do the triangle?
Right.
Yeah, just all the way around.
It just let it grow. And
Just let it grow.
Just let it grow and comb it.
I had a question. I had to know. I mean, this goes with that Lionel thing. How they made him a little too. Have you seen that, Gary?
No.
Oh yeah, it was like we talked about last episode. The Lino, the
Thundercats, the
Thundercats
toys.
toys.
I do
and
remember
the
that.
Lino
The
has
bulge.
a bulge.
He has
Yeah.
a bulge, and it's just weird. And then this right
Still
here, the
obsessed.
bush.
Now, I will
Remember
say
that.
I like the Harley that comes out with this set because it's your classic red and black Harley.
Yeah.
It's not the weird pigtails. It's not the Suicide Squad version. It's what I think of when I think of Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
Well, I
which is
mean,
just
you
the red and
figure
black.
When Harley was first introduced, it was back in the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before then, she was never in the comics.
did not exist.
nothing.
Well, you know, they had this costume, too, in the game on one of the DLCs where you play as Batgirl before the first Arkham game.
Okay.
And Joker is on this amusement park on an oil rig, and Harley's in her original suit. It was awesome.
Nice. So yeah, check those out if you're into Batman Arkham series with the 7-inch figures. I found it was a soldier and a combat expert, so it's just two.
Is there a reason they make them that size? Or is it just?
That's just one of the scales of toys. Like NECA puts out 7-inch figures.
They're killing it this year.
They're doing pretty good.
Oh yeah, the
they,
recent stuff they've been coming out with, great.
like NECA, they do like those like 8-bit versions of like Commando or Alien or stuff where they're about yay tall.
Yeah.
I just did. Yeah, I showed a measurement on a radio podcast. I'm sure everybody listening knows exactly.
Everyone, take your hands and place them on the table flat.
But then you've got like your Marvel Infinite series. Am I saying that right?
Marvel Legends.
Marvel Legends series, which are all about 6-inch figures, and then you got like the GI Joe 4-inch figures. So you've got these 3 or 4 definite scale of toys that producers choose to put
what
stuff out
size do you guys think the toys are appropriate?
I'm a fan of the
collectors
4-inch GI Joe size. I don't really like the bigger toys because they're too bulky. They take up too much space,
and they're too expensive.
And you're looking at $20 a head for these figures. I think if you're getting one here, one there, like the NECA. Which is the 7-inch ones, they're putting out a Contra 2-pack of this. Do you remember Contra from Nintendo?
Oh, yeah.
So they're putting that out. I loved that game. I will get that as a one-off thing to just buy and put up on display.
Gotcha.
But I wouldn't collect. One of the guys in our group outside of the podcast, he just showed a collection of his Alien NECA figures.
Oh, Derek.
Yeah, there's like a dozen of them. But I mean, you figure that's going to take up about this much space, right? I'm doing the thing again. So.
Take your hands and place them on your shoulders and spread them out, and you'll know how large he was showing you how big the figures are.
Did you hear about the fish Jesus caught?
No.
It was this big. I bet everybody wishes you were here. So let's move on from that. Also in toy news is NECA, talking about NECA for the 7-inch figures, is putting out their next Pacific Rim, the Striker Eureka.
Oh, cool.
Which I think this is a missed opportunity with the Pacific Rim. I think these really should only be put out in 12-inch or bigger.
Yeah.
Because they're giant robots.
Yeah.
And I think you could get that highly detailed thing, but do it in a 12-inch size or 18-inch size, and put the price tag to go with it.
Oh, these are only 7 inches.
But only 7 inches, I was like,
well, I mean, they got different sizes. I mean, their mainline for all the robots are about 7, but for I think main cast characters that were featured in the film, they do go bigger, but it's not. It's maybe 1 or 2 every time they do a line.
Okay.
The packaging's cool.
Yeah.
A little blueprints on the inside when you see them. But you need your magnifying glass to read it because it's only 7 inches.
Man, those are just...
You hear that a lot, don't you?
Yeah, it's that 172nd scale people that are going to go in that.
Right.
Just like the size of a grain of rice.
I do.
Yeah. You know what I missed in movie news? I just want to talk about this. Okay.
What's on your mind, Kevin?
What happened?
Okay, you remember last time we were talking about that goddamn stupid petition to bring George Lucas back? Okay, so now there's another goddamn stupid thing for people petitioning to have Deadpool be PG-13.
Which is bullshit.
I didn't know it was
Because
a petition.
think about the children.
Did you see the response on Twitter that Deadpool had? It was along the lines of "Your mother's a whore." This is an adult movie. Love Deadpool.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
That's what
I
he
mean,
said.
If anybody's... Go ahead.
Go fuck off. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
This movie is intended and made for the adult comic book reader. This is true Deadpool with this R rating. The comic, don't let your kid read the comic because it's 10 times worse.
Well, it's Brian Posehn and Jerry Duggan writing it. You're not going to get clean.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible language. There's entrails on like every other page. It's super bloody. And if you think you're going to get a PG-13 out of that, you're insane. And I like somebody's response was like, not everything's for kids.
Yeah. I think I'm the one who put that. And it's true. It's not everything is for kids. I mean, yeah, granted, Disney bought Marvel. They have the licensing. But there's certain aspects on why certain characters aren't with Disney because they don't want to take away from that true aspect of what and who that character is.
Right.
And Deadpool is one of these. If it would have come out with a PG-13 rating, it would have flopped at the box office.
Oh, totally.
You'd have your, oh, cool, it's Deadpool from the kids and all that.
He'd be saying frack and drock and...
Yeah,
and all
it's... I mean, Deadpool is a sarcastic, immature, sexualized character. I mean, it's the best thing ever. I mean, really.
Well, look, you put T.J. Miller in a PG-13 movie with Transformers, and look what happened.
Definitely. I mean,
I think we found a transformer. That's my Mark Wahlberg.
look, when Reynolds first did I think it was the X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
Right.
Wolverine.
Okay, and then they did all that stuff, and they had Deadpool in there, and you saw Wade Wilson, how he was before all this, and then they gave us that bullshit excuse for Deadpool with this almost mutated looking motherfucker.
Right.
That was such a disappointment. So, and the fact
Now,
that...
isn't that kind of what Deadpool looks like underneath his mask, though? Is that burn, mutated
Well, yeah,
face
the-
kind of thing? And,
No mouth though.
I found the tweet.
which, we'll go all the way to the end of the movie. He opens his mouth at the end.
Oh, that's right. I
Well, yeah,
forgot.
he gets
Yeah.
his inserted sabers. And,
Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
I mean,
Yeah,
come
the laser
on.
eyes and
Just
So I
Mike.
found the tweet. So it says, petition started for PG-13 at Deadpool movie in honor of 8-year-old Matt. Almost 1,000 signatures in just a few hours. And they have like a picture
Oh,
of
so
a
they-
cute little boy. and then
man.
Deadpool says, "Dear little boy who wants to see my movie. No, you can't see it. It's for big boys and girls. Fuck you. Your mom's a whore. Love Deadpool." That's the response on
That
Twitter.
is awesome.
That's
I
awesome.
saw that on, I don't know what I was, I
We'll
think Imager.
send that to me.
Okay.
We'll share that tweet on our Facebook page and our Twitter page, or not Twitter, Instagram. I'm still fuck Twitter.
Did you see the picture of the kid? Yeah, and it says, "Fuck you." That's crazy. That's great marketing.
Oh my god, the marketing! I even saw they're just using cell phone like emoticons. It was like an eyeball.
The
Skull.
poop.
Yeah,
and
the
then
skull.
the poop and then L. So, or no, it was the skull. So dead poop L Deadpool. I was like, yeah, and the thing in the movie theater lobbies where you can like sit on Deadpool's lap
Yeah.
all
Oh, yeah.
What? Oh,
inappropriately.
they have.
So great.
I think it would have been cooler even if that shit vibrated as soon as you sat on
Right.
it.
Well, that just shows you the fans asked for this, and the fans are getting what they want.
This feels like a fan service movie.
Miguel likes vibrators, just so you guys know, because earlier in the podcast
But-
he mentioned he heard something vibrating.
But I think
Let's pull
that's
back
gonna.
the curtain, right?
I think that's gonna be for the.
and now he wants to sit on Deadpool and vibrate.
Oh, right. So,
Moving forward.
moving right along, we were having a discussion right before we started the podcast, which I actually wanted to table. It's a little more nerd tech talk, which we haven't really done before, but I was interested in the conversation, so I want Gary and Mike, I want you guys to continue with what you guys talking about. We're talking about Wi-Fi, and what did you call it? What was it?
Oh, it was called Li-Fi. It was
Li-Fi.
Yeah, it was off an article on the Facebook page, I Fucking Love Science.
Yep.
And they're talking about where this download speeds of megabits per second is just astronomically larger by using Li-Fi, which is a direct light signal. The only thing that was a downside of it was if anything interrupts the signal, it drops completely.
Now, is that like fiber optic kind of light?
Like
or
plain air, like light beam in the air transmitting from the corner of your room.
that's
So
like some
almost like
science
pointing-
fiction shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah, because so for
The non-tech person.
Someone got in the
or-
way of the Li-Fi.
yeah, someone blocked my signal. For just to put this in perspective, regular like DSL, right, coming in through Verizon, you're going to get about 15 to 20 megabits coming into your house, right? Cable is going to be around 60, and I know fiber optic is around 100, 150. So Li-Fi, you were talking about, was going to be around how much?
I can't remember because my brother blew my mind when he sent me this text message about the Google TV coming out that was supposedly, according to what they said, was 1,000 megabits
Oh,
per
wow.
second up and down
So-
with a terabyte of cloud storage.
So a gig a second.
Yes,
Do I have my math right on that?
that sounds about
With
right.
1,000 megabytes is a
Google
gig.
Fiber. That's
Is it
what
Google
it is.
Fiber?
Google
It's called
Fiber.
Google Fiber.
Is a gig a second. That's ridiculous.
It's only in like select cities. It's in San
Oh,
Antonio,
no
so they
kidding.
get
Well,
everything.
even fiber optic is in select
Yeah.
cities, and who knows if that will even continue at how fast technology comes.
So now to blow your mind,
Yeah.
they're working a program called Loon. It's called Loon. I thought it was
Loon,
fake.
okay.
And they're basically free Wi-Fi for everyone, bouncing it off cell phone towers from balloons in
Is
the
this
stratosphere.
a Elon Musk backed
And
project?
I
Is that
think-
something
I
that
think
he's
that's
been
probably
involved in?
something he's involved in, but Google's heading up the whole
Didn't
operation.
I see this in Kingsman, Samuel L. Jackson, and
Is that what we're discussing the free stuff?
He's going to give a free
But
cell
you're
phone to
not getting
everybody.
a free phone. You're getting free Wi-Fi. You have access to
Okay. Oh my
Wi-Fi wherever you're at.
You know what? I would support Samuel L. Jackson's plan in Kingsman to just kill off like 90% of the population. Like, I will sell my soul to him and live in his bunker because traffic.
Well,
That'd be
no.
so much better.
You know, I'm with you. Traffic. That's it.
No, but I mean, honestly, you think by this...
I would almost support a Cobra Commander at this point, just if I can ease the goddamn 91 heading west. You know what I mean?
Oh god.
Carpool. For those of you that are still alive.
3 or more, or you're dead.
Perfect. So support Google Loon so that everyone can.
That's loon like balloon.
Yeah. So LOON.
Interesting. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Google.
Did
Free
you have something that
Wi-Fi.
I cut you off with?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you know, you think by this
Because what I
day
wanted
and
to
age-
say was,
Kiss mine. No, I was going to say, like, by this day and age, you think something like free Wi-Fi would be an actual
Right,
possibility
something
for
exists, yeah.
everybody.
well,
You know, I mean, yeah, everybody, each company has their towers, locations, areas, but fuck, have the Wi-Fi. I mean, that's where technology's gone, to where everything's off Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, you know, but shit, I mean, just give it to the people.
well,
Fuck.
and even in town here, that was a thing with this town was there's actually free Wi-Fi in this town, but because the towers are so spotty,
Yeah.
like in where we're recording right now, you can't pick it up at all. But if
Yeah.
you go more towards like downtown or more the heavier populated areas, you can actually find the free Wi-Fi signal. So
Okay.
there are cities throughout the United States that are implementing a free Wi-Fi, but it's so slow. I mean, you'd have better luck just walking into a Starbucks
Yeah.
and picking up their free Wi-Fi.
Their 2 megabyte download Wi-Fi that 10 people were sharing at the same time.
Right. So that's our tech talk. If you guys listening want to hear us talk about anything in particular, or if there's topics we're missing that's not He-Man, Andrew, let us know. Hit us up, drop us a message on the Facebook page, and let us know what you want us to talk about. So for now, we're going to move into our guest segment here. So we have a very important guest visiting us from Michigan.
Thereabouts, the
Right.
frozen north.
Right. And so, welcome, Gary. Yes, Mike?
Yes,
Okay,
be the
good.
center of
Just-
attention.
just on time as always.
Reintroduce him one more time. And now, it's Gary.
Oh, Jesus. We've officially transitioned into morning radio.
Yeah,
Big boy!
it's Mike and the baby.
So, I know Gary from when he used to live here locally before
Yeah.
he moved to the Great Frozen North. He does Judge Dredd cosplay. Amazing, I might add. He's also an artist and probably has a bunch of hidden talents I don't know a little bit about. So, Gary, tell us a little bit about your nerd cred.
My nerd cred. All right. Well, as most nerds nowadays, I'm a child of the '80s. I grew up with He-Man, Ninja Turtle, Transformers. Those were my go-tos as a kid. Really, as I got later in life, I decided to really wanted to get into the whole. I always loved costumes. My dad, for birthdays, would always, have masks for us to use while we went on treasure hunts and stuff like
Oh,
that.
cool.
And would have like a whole storyline going with it, and the whole creativity thing behind it. I loved.
Yeah.
So, finally, I was working for the county of Riverside. I got injured, and I was off. I'm like going, I want to make a freaking mask. I just want to do something. And that's when I found out about the 405th, that's a Halo group,
Okay.
and it introduced me into Pepakura. Now, at this point in time, I have nothing to do with art. Really didn't think I had anything that I could do with that. So, but this was easy. It was just you cut it out, you glue by the numbers. Even Mike could do it.
Oh, thanks.
So,
Yeah, Pepakura is kind of... Oh, Jesus Christ.
it's sad that he
faggot.
had that loaded up and ready to go.
Well, somebody
like
was
you
going to
knew.
make fun of him eventually. So, yeah, Pepakura is pretty cool because you can get
Yeah.
download files for just about anything from like a helmet to like
Yeah.
a full Iron Man suit, and you just print out your sheets of paper and cut and glue and build it small piece by small piece.
I gotta
What do you
check
do after
out.
that? Once you build the paper shell,
Well, what I was doing after that was I was really started learning how to use body filler, like Bondo.
Okay.
But then I would see guys would do stuff like they would mix Bondo with actual like fiberglass resin, and then you could do a slush cast with it. Then as soon as you go to that, you start to learn how to actually make molds.
Just that progression. Keep
Yeah, you
going
just
and going and
you
going.
progress to it, and then all of a sudden I decided like, hey, I could probably get clay. A mutual friend of mine and Kevin's, Jason, I made him a Cobra mask but it had half of it cut off where it was a skull, and they
Okay.
used like this pearlescent or iridescent paint that like shimmered, so it looked kind of like a radioactive skull.
Okay.
So
What?
Yeah, it looks really cool.
yeah, it was just one I wanted to try it, and you know I made this, and then that's when I was part of the RPF, or still am part of the RPF.
Yeah.
But
That's the replicapropforum.com. You should check that out, seriously. If you're listening and you've ever thought about doing craft kind of stuff. I think we talked about it with Alexandria the Red briefly.
I think so.
The RPF is an amazing resource for do-it-yourself costumes and
Oh, yeah.
props.
well, you've got actually actual prop makers in the industry.
Yeah,
that are
that
in
they'll
there.
use
It's
that and they'll kind of
amazing.
share their techniques and
Oh,
how they
wow,
made
that's cool.
stuff. And yeah.
We got Adam Savage.
Yeah, Adam
That guy's
Savage
there.
from Mythbusters is on
Yeah.
there.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's really cool.
Sorry, so go on.
Oh, no problem. So, one of the guys on there was talking about Judge Dredd. The movie just came out. I was in. We watched it, and then I immediately had to go to Kauai for a wedding. And when I'm
Okay.
out there, I'm like, God, the new suit was awesome. Just took care of the whole Stallone fiasco that we had.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, I gotta do that. I've been doing this Pepakura stuff. Then I saw somebody actually had one of the helmets from
Okay.
it, and he had taken a scan of it and was doing it with a CNC machine. It's Blue Realm
okay.
Studios, if anyone's heard of them. So I was like, oh, I got to get that. So I got that. And then some other guys on the RPF said, like, well, there's a guy in Michigan, and he's making leather for it. He's trying to get it going, trying to get everybody into it.
Okay.
So I got in with him, and we grew from like, I think it was like 25 of us in the beginning.
Yeah.
And now it's grown to like a couple thousand around the world.
Oh, wow.
It took a while to get the stuff done because, you know, you send stuff out to Pakistan. It takes
Yep.
forever to get stuff done.
Yeah.
But eventually we got it done, and now we've got like, I know there's another company, Leather Next, who does the suits too. So now you've got so many thousands of people that are out there doing this Judge Dredd costume.
Well, give Kurt a shout out for it since he was
Oh,
the
yeah.
one that kind of started that out. What's his company name?
Yeah, Kurt Struess. He does Real Images.
Real Images.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
real as
and
an
his
REL.
now I will say with Real Images, his Dredd suits are screen accurate.
Oh yeah, that's the
Oh,
him.
that was
and-
the screen accurate one you were
Yeah,
talking
no,
about.
his I mean, what you see in the movie is exactly what they've replicated and put together. This other place, Leather Next,
Yeah.
they do close enough costume. Now the price is much lower.
Yeah.
The quality of the costume is still very high, but if you compared them side by side, you say, okay, that's different. The pattern of the leg, is there a little bit different. But walking around, I have the Leather Necks because I didn't have the money for Kurt's stuff. Walking around Comic-Con or Kamikaze, nobody can tell.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
once you cover it up with helmets and gloves and weapons and all the other stuff that is screen accurate or close enough to the casual person, it looks exactly like what they saw in the movie.
Okay.
So, but and that's personal preference. Like Gary wants to be screen accurate down to the stitch.
Oh yeah.
And I don't care. and we both could troop side by side.
Oh, absolutely.
And the person taking our picture would not know the difference unless they actually sat there and scrutinized
Okay.
or we pointed it out. So either can. But yeah, Kurt's stuff is high quality. I have some of his stuff and I have some Leather Neck stuff with one.
And there's one more person I gotta give a shout out on that too. Kurt Struess worked with another guy named Sean Cho, and both of those guys, we've gotten to know. Well, they've gotten to know. I haven't met him yet because I didn't get to go to Dragon Con. But Rob Alsop, he's the guy who actually worked on the suits for the movie.
Okay.
So they've worked hand in hand with him and of just breaking everything down. Like they take actual screen stuff and break it down, the stitches and the panels, and that's the kind of craziness they went to.
Right,
Nice.
With
deconstruct
their
it so
stuff.
they can recreate it.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Cho, he does like the badges and things like that, right? Okay,
Yeah,
so
Mr.
Sean
Zero
Cho,
props.
I actually met him at the G.I. Joe convention
Yeah, Snake Eyes.
last year. He did my Judge Dredd badge and belt buckle, but he also does a lot of stuff for the Finest, which is in the G.I. Joe clubs. He does his own Snake Eyes stuff. Real nice guy. Met him in person.
Oh, he's awesome.
So yeah, I'll vouch for him.
Oh yeah.
Because I have all the cred that people go looking
good.
for. So, do you do any other costumes or other than Judge Dredd?
Well, I'd like to point out, like, when I first started, the very first time I ever did any convention in costume was with Kevin, because I didn't have anything ready to go yet. The Judge Dredd thing was still, it took about 2.5 years to get it going.
Yeah.
So, he was kind enough to loan me, I think it was a Hiss tank driver suit, or some
Oh
of the
yeah, we
officers
were
for-
to Kamikaze, and I had an extra costume that would fit him. So I went as a Cobra trooper, and he went as a Cobra Stinger.
Oh,
the Stinger
driver.
Stinger driver, the one that's in gray.
Yeah.
That was a blast. That's what got
And,
it started.
and yeah, and kind of showed him the ropes of here's what it's
Yeah.
like walking around in costume at a large convention, and what it's like having your picture taken, and what it's like trooping with a bunch of other people that are in similar costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. And then I remember
Yeah.
was it the first time you did your Dredd when we went to WonderCon.
Yeah, you go for it.
So, as anybody who's done costumes will know, even no matter how, 2 years building this costume, the day of the thing you're going to wear it to, you are still putting things together on the way down there. So we're driving down to Anaheim, and he's driving, and I'm in the passenger seat, like sewing, stitching, I'm doing last minute repair stuff. We stopped at a Staples so I could buy a thing, and I'm literally like leather punching and sewing part of his costume in the passenger seat while we're driving down there, and then like dressed him in the parking lot and sort of put the rest of it together on him in the parking lot, and then he trooped for the day and had a blast. Looked great.
Oh, that was funny. Stripping in the little extra parking lot for Disneyland. Because this was WonderCon. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That's something that goes with, cosplay is you get used to dressing just out in the public.
You got to.
In a parking lot.
I think there's only one time when I went to Chicago when I had an opportunity I had a hotel room that time. But every other time, you're just in the parking lot. You got to do what you got to do.
Now, have you been working on a Captain America? I know you've got different mask or shield or things like that.
I did. I went for the Age of Ultron thing. Was something that was really neat. We were going to Disney World last September.
Okay.
And we were going to go to the Halloween thing, and I was going to get Captain America Age of Ultron thing, but it kind of fell through. It didn't really happen. I still got the shield. I got this. There's a guy in Florida who does like the full length 24-inch blanks, and he'll cut the grooves into it. All you got to do then is do the metallic paints and everything, and you got a screen accurate Captain America shield.
Nice.
That thing's got to weigh a ton.
Oh, you know what? It's aluminum. It's heavy, but it's not as heavy as you think. Yeah.
Well, all right. So you also you are currently enrolled in art school.
Yes, I am.
So what are you specializing in art school?
Oh gosh, because it jumps back and forth so many times. Now what it is I'm double majoring with something. I'm getting Photoshop and all that stuff for one degree, so that I can do sketches and paintings in Photoshop. So we'll do concept art or even just normal paintings. But I found like my real love is in oil painting. Okay. And more recently in human figures. I do a lot of Conte drawings of, naked people.
Yeah.
That's what I do all day long.
Question, do you drink wine while you paint?
Oh, yeah. Well, what else are you going to do?
He's like, you know what? You disrobe, I'll disrobe. We'll just make it comfortable for everybody.
Have some of this.
It loosens everything up.
What scent candle do you like to burn when you have a model in the studio?
I'm kind of getting he'd be that Bob Ross type of feel. Little tree.
The happy little nipple.
The happy nipple. It's a bar.
The bush is a comb over. So, all right. So you're doing both more of a digital media art as well as like actual paint on canvas.
Yeah. Little mix of everything. Kind of mixing it up, trying to keep it out as much as possible to get as much work as I possibly can.
Nice. I think I got to give you props because it was a nice kind of hidden thing to learn about somebody. I think everybody's got a hidden talent in them somewhere.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure out what Mike's is, but I can say that because he left. Bag on him the second he walks away. I met Gary. He was just working for animal control, and there's this guy driving a truck collecting roadkill.
No.
And then I turn around and he goes, "Oh no, I'm an artist," and like looking at the stuff that he was already doing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you like you're not even here. The stuff that you were already doing just in your first year or so of art school, I was like, wow, this guy's got some great talent. And then I find out about the costuming and the sculpting and stuff like that. So I really think that's neat that people have these hidden talents. Miguel's got his day job, but then you can go home and he does like the custom built G.I. Joe figures, which he'll actually you'll make parts for and put things together. And I think that's really cool. So
it's the cheap and get way of doing it because I can't afford half the stuff that gets casted. So I figure out a way to make my own stuff.
There you go.
I bet you are not far away from starting your own casting. You know what I mean?
Money. Yeah.
Once you get a couple of supplies and learn how to do it once or
No,
twice.
I've been thinking about doing the casting. Some just trying to figure out what kind of casting I wanted to do for it.
All right. So we are going to ask Gary our 10 nerd questions. So when we have guests on, we like to find out about them and their nerdiness. So Miguel, we'll go back and forth. I'll ask the first one while I load it up.
All right.
So number one, what do you collect? And that can be anything. It doesn't have to be a toy. per se, because like I collect GI Joe
Human
toys.
heads, body
You know,
parts in the closet.
what's got your interest? What do you collect?
Skin.
Well, this is going to be kind of bad because my wife will be listening to this, so I'm kind of throwing myself under the bus. But I like to collect Warhammer 40K for two reasons. One, I love the lore and I love painting, but on top of it, they're small enough she doesn't know how many of them I have.
Well, she will soon.
She will now. Hi, honey.
All right, so next question would be, what is the favorite piece in your collection, and how did you get it?
Oh, God. Well, it's probably going to be the Dredd thing. I mean, before it would have been, I used to have every single issue of the Spawn comics.
Okay.
But I gave that away to charity when I moved, so it's got to be now. It's got to be the Dredd. That's one of those items that's got to be up on a mannequin in a room next to all my work pieces. You know, yeah, that's got to be it.
Mike, you're next.
Now enough of your collections. I got a question for you. What is your favorite movie?
Oh, Black Dynamite. That movie.
Wow, that was a fast
so
answer, too.
Awesome. I love that movie. When Kevin showed me that movie, with Brian and everybody, that movie was just.
Is it the time you had the party?
Yeah, we had people
after
over and we
the
watched
TV.
it here.
Yeah.
Man, if you have not seen Black Dynamite,
Oh,
you
it's
need
such
to
a
do
great
yourself
movie.
a favor. And they even have an animated series to
Yes.
go along with it, but the movie is amazing.
Michael J. White is just an amazing man, amazing writer, director, actor, and that's his movie.
I didn't know he was multifaceted like that. I
Yeah.
thought he was
Oh
just an
yeah,
actor. I didn't know he did more
Kung
than that.
Fu Master and
All right. When it comes to nerdy stuff, what's your number one pet peeve?
oh gosh, just people being full of themselves, trying to put down other people. That's kind of like, and I don't think it happens in cosplay as much as it does, or at least with some of the younger people, they like to be look down on other people. And it's just like when you're in high school, that's what happened to nerds. You're not supposed to do that to each other, let alone anybody doing it to anybody.
You're
Yeah,
describing
never read the
Miguel.
comments section.
Oh yeah,
You're describing how Miguel treats me, Gary. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you brought that up.
This is an intervention.
Shut up,
Speaking of
Pee-wee. That's your new nickname, Pee-wee. All right, moving on. Don't know how you are on this subject, but since we were formed mainly because of G.I. Joe, are you more G.I. Joe or are you more Cobra?
Oh, more Cobra. I gotta say, watching the G.I. Joe movie as a kid when Serpentor and everything came out, it's all about that.
Do you have a favorite Cobra character?
Serpentor.
Really?
Yeah, I loved him as a kid. That was my favorite. When he came out and he was the Cobra, la, 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 la. Oh, dude, I was all about it as a kid.
From the movie, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you ran around going, "This I command. This
Oh,
I command."
well, all I would watch is that and the Transformers movie.
Okay.
Oh, I love those.
I think I watched the Transformers movie every single day after school my
Yeah.
entire 6th and 7th grade.
Oh,
Come
good
home,
God.
it was in the VHS tape. It was already in the player.
Yeah.
You just hit play and sit down and watch it while eating your after school
So
snacks.
how many copies did you go through?
Just the one.
But you know it word for word though. You know we had this conversation
Yes,
about
I-
movies.
You could put it on now, and I could walk. You look, Unicron, look, Orbulus, look, it's Unicron. Yeah. So
just mute it and just let you do the voiceover. Gary, who's your favorite fictional character
Who's my favorite fictional character?
and why?
And why? What the heck? I guess I'm gonna really be nerdy on this one. I'm gonna say Batman.
Batman.
that's all right.
Favorite fictional character.
I'm gonna say Batman, and that one is everyone says the same thing. He has those superpowers. He's super, he's super intelligent, the world's greatest detective. But it's the willpower thing. I mean, when the man had the Green Lantern ring, just you could destroy the entire galaxy, the entire universe. His willpower is just iron strong, and just the stuff that they make him do in the comics from.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, in the 30s and 40s and whatnot, and then where he is now, the evolution is amazing.
The whole character development that makes sense. Okay.
And he's pretty cool.
He
It's
is.
just
He is.
awesome.
He
All
is.
right. What's the one thing you've impulsively purchased and immediately regretted? Because we've all done it.
Jenny, please hit stop or pause.
Fast forward a few seconds.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's probably the motorcycle that I rode over here on. That thing was, I used to have a Hayabusa, and I loved that bike, but it was too expensive for me to keep up on. I mean, this made me getting a little out of the nerdy realm.
That's all right.
But this guy had just this huge Yamaha. It's a 1800.
Yeah.
So it's like 102 horses. It had ape hangers, all this stuff on it. I bought it. I took a look at it. I thought I knew everything on it. Then when I got it home, the guy just butchered it. And it's taken like my dad like 2 or 3 years just to go through it and just fix everything to where I could even ride it here today.
Oh my gosh, you rode all the way from Detroit on a motorcycle?
He's that badass.
I was trying to think of something clever.
All right, so next one we got is, what's your guilty pleasure? You know, that thing that everyone gives you shit for liking, but you could, give a fuck what they say.
I was just saying this the other day. What is it? So you get put on the spot. And
He's a brony.
Think of it. Oh, my daughter has a wide taste of things, but she has gotten into My Little Pony, so I have gotten to see it. I can understand how some people are into it. I just haven't gotten into it. I know the characters. I know who they all are, but it's just like
I was there about 2 years ago. I understand.
Oh, God. I guess it's probably, right now, it'd probably be Arrow. I like Arrow because I like Stephen Amell.
Okay.
But
the show's not that good.
Bad.
He's answering the next question.
Yeah.
He's already answered the next question.
We've talked about, when we did a crossover with Nerd Life Crisis, and we talked with them about how awful Arrow has gotten.
Well, it's at this point, I'm just watching it.
Because everyone's a superhero on it now. It's like,
and everybody comes back to life at least 3 fucking times.
Yeah.
But now I'm just watching it just to keep up with the Flash, so that I don't have. There's a continuum.
Yeah.
Of Flash.
I will say the only current episode I've seen of Arrow was the crossover of the Flash, just so I could see how that episode ended.
Well, look how the director from the Flash makes the Arrow cast go, and then they were amazing with the Flash director.
And what's funny is the Green Arrow is my favorite superhero of all.
Yeah.
He's my Batman.
Yeah.
I fucking love Green Arrow, and I was so excited with season 1. Season 2, okay, and I haven't even watched the season 3 or 4. So.
A little side note on that: when they start premiering with Legends of Tomorrow, you are going to actually see a little arc into future Oliver with the whole goatee aspect.
Really?
Yeah, he needs to stop with the 5 o'clock shadow thing. All right,
back to Gary.
Next question.
I think I know the answer. Marvel or DC?
See, now that one's a hard one. It's gotta be. You see, I have thought about this question quite a few times over the years. I mean, sometimes it goes back and forth. Sometimes I kind of wonder if it's not influenced by the movies and what's not out. But I think because of Batman, it always comes back to DC.
DC.
But I gotta say, Marvel, especially when it comes to Avengers, Marvel has more characters that are not ridiculous, like DC does. But I love DC. I love me some DC.
Yeah.
But the Justice League has got some fucking crazy, weird characters in the Justice League. And Marvel still has some too, but not as many in the Avengers, like Justice League. But.
Gotcha.
Well, and then finally, question number 10, which I still don't understand this one, so I think we need to rewrite it, or someone explain it for me. In the Nerdverse, what is your absolute ultimate property? Like, what's the one thing you like the most?
Everything else can go away, but this one thing has to stay.
Can't do without.
Gosh. It's like my wife asks me what I want to eat. I have no idea. Jeez. God, because it just... I remember some things, and then... What could I...
See, this is how I would have answered your favorite movie question.
Go to that inner nerd and just the little kid inside.
Like, could you live off of Judge Dredd forever?
See, not even that. Batman, yeah. See, I
Probably live off of Batman?
I hate regurgitating the same answer, so I'm trying to think of something more interesting, but it always kind of comes back to that.
All right, Batman. It's fine if you say Batman.
It is.
He beats. I mean, he beats everybody. Shit. Even when he was. Well, I don't want to give any spoilers if people haven't seen Court of Owls yet, but
what is that? Is that a comic?
Yeah, well, that was like when they kind of drove him crazy. Little assassins, maybe a little bat. I think everybody knows there was a Batman death that came about during that.
Yes.
Yeah, with Darkseid and whatnot.
Oh, I have read that. Yeah, he died. And,
he died. Actually,
He died at the end.
Yeah, then he comes back with when the whole Lantern Corps thing comes out, with all the colors come out, and then all of a sudden the white ones come back after the Black Lantern.
Okay.
I got a question for Gary and for Kevin, because I'm a big video game guy. So, Grand Theft Auto mixed with Batman. Are you in?
No, because
I'm not saying you don't do
no,
don't
because
do the
I think
crazy stuff, but
they're already doing that with like Arkham
Knight.
Asylum and Arkham Knight.
was it really open as you wanted to be? Where you could just
it's probably the biggest map, and the Batmobile was just.
The most recent one you can drive the Batmobile, right?
I played
I was
it.
in the Batmobile all the time.
Because I played it, but then like it tells you where to go in the Batmobile. Like I mean, truly open world, and you can go in buildings, and there's a bank robbery, and just
Not to that level, perhaps, but now with the new DLC, the Seasons of Infamy, where they've added more stuff to it.
oh, have they?
Oh, yeah, it is. It is great. They've added Killer Croc, Ra's al Ghul, Mr. Freeze, and Mad Hatter. Oh, it's awesome. It's crazy too, the amount of DLC they've put out for this game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was $30. It wasn't $50 like Star Wars.
Right.
And it's just like for the last 6 months, it's been real downloadable content. Not just some skins. They give you a ton of skins, but then they give you actual meaty stuff you can get into.
Okay.
Nice.
So Kevin's no with the Batman. And
No,
Grand Theft
I'm not,
Auto.
because in the Grand Theft Auto world, I just think it's already being done. The only thing you can't do is like
Change it up.
get into any vehicle.
buildings, right.
But even in Grand Theft Auto, there aren't like you can't really run into buildings and do
Well,
stuff.
they're trying
like
to change
stores
that.
and
Yeah,
shit.
they're trying to change it now.
Yeah, I mean you got like the gun store and
Yeah.
clothing store stuff like that. But
There's DLC coming out. It's too slow. I mean, they're like 2 years too slow on coming out with all this
Your
stuff.
Batman going to
I even
Finch.
Change. You got to go to the dance.
The Bat Dance. Do the Bat Dance.
Watusi.
A little Adam West.
But since you say there's DLC on there, so there's no need to have something like that intertwined or even add to that.
I think it was just kind of perfect the way it was, except for a couple flaws here and there, but those were minor.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I think that's about our time. That's our episode. Our very special guest Gary. So I want to thank you for flying out from Michigan just for this. I know there was absolutely nothing else you were doing,
Nothing else at all.
but it's been great to see you again. And I hope the next time you're in town, you will come and be on the podcast again. You're welcome anytime.
That would be great.
And so, leaving here, we'll go ahead and sign off.
It's Miggs.
There's Mike.
And I've been Kevin. You guys keep it nerdy.